Welcome back to the Golden Ticket Pod. We have got Abbie with us today, a brand mentor for female founders, helping women build personal brands so fucking good that their audience can't stop buying. I love this so much. And obviously, I love all the work you do anyway. But introduce yourself, give everyone a lowdown of who you are, what you do, anything that you want to say. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so pretty much I'm Abbie. I'm a brand mentor for female founders. So I actually launched an agency back in 2022 with my boyfriend Jordan, and that's called JA Social Suite. So we originally started off as a social media management agency. So we launched the business May 2022. Then we were made redundant from our job. So we both worked in a cafe pretty much full time. And I was like, when we were in the cafe, I was like, I just wish when we launched this business, I wish I could be at home and I wish I could just spend every second of my life on this business. And then we were made redundant. And I was like, oh. And it's funny actually, because something about me as well. I am so, like, when I feel something, I'm very verbal about it. And I swear I must be a super manifester, because if I don't like something and I say it out loud, it happens. And I think it's probably not a great trait, to be fair, because there's been times where I'm like, this client is just really not my vibe. And then they leave like the next day. Yeah, that's basically how we started. And we've recently, I say recently, I think it was like December 2025, we slowly started transitioning from management to more teaching, mentoring, doing strategy days with clients. It came down to how passionate I am about teaching someone to do something, and then when they do it for themselves, they then get results. That was giving me more fulfillment than me just running a page.
Yeah.
And bit of my background as well, I actually taught singing in musical theatre for 8 years.
No
So
way.
naturally, anything to do with teaching and mentoring and stuff like that is just like, that's what I'm good at. And yes, I mentor women, I speak at events, I teach inside programs, and I host my own podcast. And have my second event coming up in just under 3 weeks on the 12th of July, which is crazy.
That is so exciting. Honestly, I feel like there is so much that we are going to be able to dive into in this episode, and I'm really, really excited. But with the whole teaching aspect, that makes so much sense with your human design as well, because you're a projector with a 6-2 profile. So you're essentially like the exemplary human. So you basically experiment and like throughout life and then teach on that. So it actually makes so much sense. And the
Does
fact
make
that,
sense.
yeah. And the fact that you've been pulled into that, especially this year and feeling so much more aligned, honestly, just shows that you're living by your design without even meaning to. So it's amazing. But yeah, talk to us a little bit more about, obviously you said back in 2022 when you first started your business joint and you both lost your jobs because you was made redundant. Like obviously no safety net to fall back on, like you had to go full send into the business. What was going through your head back then?
It was a dark time.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, it was rough. We had no savings, uh, debt, uh, literally, we so we were made redundant. When that come to a complete stop, like the cafe we were working in was actually closing down. So once that stopped, we were like, well, we've just launched the business, it has to work. Like, there was not don't get me wrong, you do have moments of like, "Shit, are we gonna have to get jobs? Like, are we gonna have to get another job alongside running this business?" But then we were like, "No, like, this has to work. This absolutely has to work." So we at home in our bedroom, at the time, I didn't have a laptop or anything like that, I just had my phone, and I had this, like, really old iPad that I used to use in my singing lessons for getting YouTube up. So I had that, and I would post on Instagram all the time. We would constantly researching, constantly learning, constantly just head down. Literally did not leave the house for very, very long time. Obviously, over time, it got worse and worse because we weren't landing clients because we were just so new to it all. We had no idea. Had no idea what we were doing. We weren't clear on anything. And we probably landed our first client, I think 6 to 8 months in.
Mhm.
6 to 8 months with no money coming in, bills racking up, mental health was on the floor, and obviously working alongside your partner, we were just passing ships. Like, we were literally just like business mode constantly, and it was a really, really difficult time for us. Um, I really struggled mentally, like, a alongside the fact that I was really struggling and I definitely was depressed. At the same time, it was like, this business has to work.
Mm.
So I would cry every day. I'd be like, Jordan, this isn't like, what are we doing? Like, it was such a stress. But in the back of our heads, it was like, okay, it might be shit, but it's gonna work. I've always had that delusion of like, it will work because I want it to work and I'm not gonna stop until I get there. Um, so yeah, I think just it's very heavy when finances aren't great, and like the start of a business is hard for anyone. But I just you just have to persevere and you have to just keep going. Like, I think that's how you build the resilience in business as well. Like, you have to keep going. If you know deep down that this is really what you want and there's no other option, you have to just keep going. And I know it's risky because of money, but I get it. Like, we literally were in debt. We were fucked basically. And I was going to the co-op to get pints of milk with 20p's. Like, it was fucking bad. But we come out the other side.
Yeah, because you believed in yourself and you trusted yourself and you kept going. Like, I think that in itself is probably one of the biggest things in business that you can do is that belief in yourself and like
Yeah.
perseverance to keep going even when everything feels like is telling you to give up. And
Yeah.
I've been through that stage so many times and I've been like, what is the fucking point? Like, do I even bother? Like, but I was everything that brought me back to that every single time was always, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, it's what lights me up the most out of everything in life. So why would I give up on it? Um, do you feel like that was the one thing that kept you going back then?
Yeah, we just had this, yeah, like I say it's delusion. Like, we just had this, well, there's nothing else we can do. Like, well, I'm not getting a job. I'm not going back to a 9 to 5. I'm not doing it. And at any time me and Jordan would have like a serious conversation of him, like, I might have to go. No, no, we're not having this conversation. Like, we just need to persevere. We were in the beginning, we were like messaging people, like cold emailing or whatever it is. Fucking hated it, but we did what we had to do. Luckily, I think our first ever client was actually my brother-in-law's, the company he was working for. It was a scaffolding firm,
Mhm.
and we took them on, and that was like, thank God. So we landed them, and then through them, they recommended us to like another construction company. So funny, like, we actually started in like construction. Um, but in the beginning, I was doing free work. I was doing graphic feed posts for free for like businesses, just to get our name out there. And it did help. It was a very, very slow journey because, again, like, kept myself to myself. When you're in business, especially when you first launch, I think a lot of us feel that we've decided to start a business, like, we've decided to do that. So we need to make it work on our own, basically. Like, that was my mindset in the beginning, where I was like, we've decided to make this business work. No one really understands what we're doing. I don't need help from anyone. I've just got to do it. And it was such a negative mindset to be in, because from where I am now and the amount of networking I do and the community that I have now, I wish I'd have done that back then, because it would have sped up our growth so quickly. And that is the one thing I think is so, so important in business, is communicating with people and just realizing that you do not have to be alone in any of it. Yes, you've started the business, and yes, maybe your family or friends don't really understand what you're doing, but there is people out there who get it, and you need to allow yourself to put yourself in rooms and stuff like that, because it's just so important.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and I think that's been such a big thing for me in this journey is that when I first started especially, I was the same, like, you just feel really isolated, really lonely, and you're like, "Nobody around me gets it." But then I started investing and getting myself in the rooms and speaking to other people who are in the same situations, who felt the same, and just, like, even speaking to people who had been in it a few years and, like, were out of it the other end, and, like, getting yourself in those rooms and speaking to more people that actually get it makes the biggest difference.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
genuinely think if I didn't do that at the beginning, like, I would not be doing business now because I would be like, "No one fucking gets it," like, but the amount of friends that I've made, the amount of connections that I've made since doing my business, like, I'm probably a lot closer to a lot, like, of women in business than I am, like, people that I grew up with, purely for the fact that
100%.
we actually get each other.
Literally, this is me. Like in real life, I'm not joking. I do not have friends. Like I'm very close with my family, and my best friend is my cousin or my sister. Um, I don't have like people just, especially where I live. It's a small town. Like you either stay here and settle or you leave. All the people that I class as friends, they're all online. Even my clients love them so much. They have changed my life. Being online has changed my life.
Yeah, I'm fully with you on that, and I'm the exact same, like, there's only a few people that I actually speak to now that don't have their own business and that don't, like, do stuff for themselves, like, and have the same mindset. But yeah, like, it's crazy, isn't it? And I feel like for me especially, it just really helped me find my people and find my purpose and where I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be. Because I always felt like growing up, I don't know if it was the same for you, but, like, that I just didn't sort of fit in, whether that was, like, family, friends, school, whatever it was, and I was like, this just doesn't feel like me, and obviously now I know why, because I was made for so much more.
Yeah,
Um,
do you know what? I think in school, it's a hard one. I went through school really, really struggling with anxiety, but I didn't know it was anxiety. So, like, I'd be stood outside my form and I would have an awful stomach ache and I'd need to, like, run to the toilet, and I just thought I was a weirdo, like but now I know that that was like, recently last year at some point was put on anxiety medication because of my IBS, which is caused by stress and anxiety. I didn't know that back then, but I don't know whether it was like a front or whatever, but I was kind of friends with everyone. It I was friends with, like, the popular lot, and we'd go down to, like, the front of the entrance of the school, and we'd all be all together. But then I was kind of in everyone's groups, and I spent yeah, I think I went through different groups, and then when it comes to, like, college, I hated that, I quit college. Like, life happened, and then naturally, yeah, starting a business, it's just nobody got it, nobody cared, like and I don't expect people to care, especially when you're not in business. Um, yeah, I've just made them all online.
yeah. Do you know what? I'm so with you on that, and I was the exact same, like, I could speak to anyone in school, like, I was very introverted, but as well at the same time, I never, like, didn't not be friendly with everyone. Like,
Yeah,
I was just that sort of person that, like, could go to anyone, could speak to anyone, but,
yeah.
like, stick to my little group and things like that, and I think that's probably the same as you. It's sort of just like that thing of putting up that front and being like, "Okay, yeah, like, it is what it is." Like, and I do that a lot even now still, like, I'll be like, I'm that type of person that I match energy. So, yeah. Yeah, so, like, I literally can just match energy, with whoever I'm with, and it's so weird, and I've only recently realised that, like, the past year or so, and I'm like, "Oh, that's actually really weird," but I think it might be a Gemini trait as well.
I'm Aries,
Mm.
but I don't always feel like I match an Aries. But I think when I'm with my family, I I don't always match energy because it's my family. I will sit there and my battery will go and they just know. In the like couple of years ago, they'd be like, Abby, is everything okay? But now they just know if my face is like a slapped ass, the battery's just gone. I've just got nothing left in me and they get that from me. But if I have a guest come in for a podcast, I match their energy because I just want them to feel comfortable and I want them to just vibe, you know? Like, I think my biggest thing is I want people to feel comfortable.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's so important in business anyway, because like, could you imagine you invested in someone or went on someone's podcast and then like all of a sudden the energy was just like completely gone? And it's
Yeah.
one of those things where you have to just like, especially in the moment with someone, you have to be like, right, okay, even if I'm feeling like shit right now, let's like
Face
get
on,
over
let's
it.
go.
Yeah, face on, let's go. And it's about putting those different hats on at different times. And I've had to learn
Yeah.
that a lot, especially through like my career, like working with children. I've gone through, like, really shit times and been like, "Okay, no, work hats on, like, can't be showing this here."
And I'm exactly the same. I used to
Yeah.
teach children singing, and I remember going through awful times in my life and then just being like, "Right, I'm in class, I can't cry, I'm here." And then
Yeah.
leave, you're like, "Oh."
Literally, and then it sort of hits, and sometimes it can be really hard to do that as well because you know that you're supposed to let yourself feel the feelings, but
Yeah,
then I think if you're then coming out of that and then allowing yourself to feel it, it's fine. Like, there
yeah,
is gonna be times where you have to just be like, "Do you know what? Yep, just gotta fake it for an hour, and then it's fine,
yeah,
I'm used to feeling it." But it can be really hard to do sometimes, but I think probably working with children and obviously having to put that front on, you sort of get used to that and build up that resilience, and it becomes, I guess, a little bit more easier to then, like, adapt that into business as well.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, you've got a 6'2" profile in human design. So you're the exemplary human. So the sixth line basically lives through your real arc. So that's you experimenting, trial and error, bumping into what doesn't work, pulling back to observe, looking at what does work, and then literally living as an example of what's possible. So I feel like the way that you do business now is so aligned. Do you feel like you can see that within yourself over the past few years?
Yeah, like, when I was doing management, I was so unfulfilled, so burnt out, so, like, really struggled with feeling happy and just going in circles constantly, but now I'm like, I have so much more freedom. Even when shit hits the fan, I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, everything's figure outable.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think that's the thing, like, you're literally here to be a role model and, like, everything you've experienced these past few years, like, starting off and it being really difficult and all of those things and, like, learning what works and what doesn't, like, you are literally here now to showcase to other people, and I know you speak a lot about the realities of business as well. You're not
Yeah,
shy to actually speak about what's actually going on behind the scenes, and I think that's such a good trait to have because so many people in business will just talk about the real highs or talk
yeah,
about something when they're, like, 6 months out of it, but actually, like, I always think, is that actually serving my audience the way that they want to be served? Like, they're coming to me for the realness, so why am I not providing them that realness as well? So I absolutely love that about you, and that is literally your profile coming into play massively. But as well, like, I feel like a lot of people would love to know what it's actually like working with your partner and having a business with your partner because you don't actually see it a lot. So talk to us about it. How does it work?
it it either works or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, it really depends on you and your partner. I think because when we first got together, we were already working in a cafe together every day. We were already used to seeing each other every day, already used to getting up, getting ready, going to the cafe, working at the cafe, like, that was just our normal life. So then when it come to being made redundant and being at home every day with each other, I didn't mind that. Jordan's a homebody. He loved being at home. He loved lockdown. Like, he loved that. Um, and it's hard because you think it wouldn't work because we're very different people. Like,
Mm,
very, very different people. But I think that's maybe why it works because we bring sides out in each other. Like, I've kind of like, I see myself sometimes and I'm like, "Oh, that's such a Jordan trait." But it's really helped bring me back down to earth because I'm a very I can be very impulsive, I can be very emotional, a very, like, a panic decide and stuff like that, but with Jordan, he's very logical, he thinks things through, he
mm,
doesn't do things unless it benefits him, like, and that's the side that I need, and I also think with me, like, sometimes I think I give Jordan a bit of, like, "Fuck it" energy, like, sometimes we are just a bit like, "Oh, fuck it." Um, But I think at the end of the day, I think you both need to have the same why.
Yeah.
Not nitty-gritty, but, like, the the basis of, like, our why is that we want more. And we're not gonna stop until we get that. Anytime shit's gone wrong, will we figure it out? Um, we want more for our lives. We want to do things with our lives. We're on the same page with kids, with marriage, like, all of that. Like, that I some I know a lot of people get with their partners and they think of marriage and they think of kids and they wanna settle down, but me and Jordan don't really wanna do that. Like, not until we're happy with where we're at in life. Like, we wanna be able to do things because we can. And I'm not saying you can't do things with kids and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, we're selfish in the sense of, like, we want to be so financially secure and
Mhm.
freedom secure as well, that if we did want kids one day, or we did want to get married one day, we'd be able to do it like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, not so much kids, because I know not some people struggle with kids, but marriage especially. Like, we've had so many conversations where he's like, if I wanted to propose to you and get married, I'd want to be able to do it, like, and not have to worry about money or have to wait a couple of years and stuff like that. And I think because we're so on the same length, it just works. And everyone asks, honestly, everyone asks us this. When people come into the office and I have headshots done or whatever, they're like, "How do you do it?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "It just works with who we are."
I think it makes so much sense with what you're saying that obviously you're both on the same page. Like you've
Yeah.
both got the same values at the end of it. Like you're both working towards the same goal and you pick
Mm.
each other up and you like being different people actually helps so much more because you like sort of help each other in those different moments. Like you were saying about the decisions, you're very like you want to just do it in the moment, fuck around, find out kind of thing. And then like that logical person being like, okay, let's actually think about this properly and like do it like how it should be. And that's a big part of your design as well is that actual impulsiveness because you've got your authority and how you make decisions is essentially the ego. So like you lean from your heart, you make decisions from your heart and you're like driven by that and just instantly. So like if you care about something and if you feel fulfilled about something, you'll be like, yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
So that makes so much sense. And then obviously Jordan will bring you back down and be like, okay, let's like think about this on a real level right now. So I think it actually works so well. And it's a communication thing, I think. Like when you've got that
Oh
open
God,
communication,
100%.
makes
Yeah.
such a big difference, doesn't it? Such a
Do
big
you
difference.
know what I think as well? Like, you have to learn. Do you know what? Not even just in a relationship. Like, even if you had a business partner that you like were just business partners wise, communication, like you said, it's so important. And I have learned over the years of being with Jordan. So we've been together 6.5 years, but I've learned that we're very, very good at communicating, but only in a certain way. So
Mm.
if we need to have like serious conversation, it either needs to be when we're walking home or we're just not looking at each other. Because I
Okay.
think we're both a bit expressionate. Like if one of us pulls a face or one of us like breathes too early, we straight away we're like, what? I'm like, what do you think? Do you know what I mean? Like we're quick to jump at each other, but if we're not looking at each other, we're really good at communicating. And I also agree, my past self would not have done this, but I agree now that we need time apart if we've got decisions to make. So,
Mhm.
like, back in the day, I was so anxious. I'd never wanted Jordan to leave my side. I never wanted to leave the house. I couldn't leave the house without him. But now I'm like, no, I'll stay at my sister's. And I think that gives us that creative, like, ideas come to us, and then we can communicate with each other. Which I think is a bit of a me thing because I'm excited. I'm like, let's do this, let's do that. So I'm like, no, Abbie, take a day, chill out, and then let's come back and have a conversation.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. So do you feel like obviously doing the business together, like that you get burnt out at the same time and that you feel like or do you feel like you pick each other up when say you're feeling burnt out and he's got loads of energy and then
Yeah.
how does that work?
We're never on the same.
Okay, that's
So
good.
like when I am burnt out and I'm depressed, he's fine. So, but then when I'm okay, sometimes he's a bit low and then I'm like, stop bringing me down. Like, where's the positive energy? But we are
Yeah.
neutral pretty much. I just keep up the fuck yeah energy all the time.
Yeah, and I think that's so important to have in business as well, like, because you need to just sometimes be like, "Let's just go for it, let's just do it, see what happens, go from there." And I think, like, that's how I've got to where I am because I've been like, "Do you know what? I'm just gonna go for it." Like, what's actually holding me back, especially, like, the past year and making those decisions in business and, like, sort of changing, like, and pivoting that little bit. I was like, "Do you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Like, let's just go for it and just see what
Been in
happens."
worse times. I'm sure I can get through it again.
Exactly, that's what I always say to myself. I'm like, "If I've got through what I've been through before, I can easily get through this, like, it's absolutely nothing."
Yeah.
When you're going through burnout and feeling, like, anxious and, like, that in those depressive states, how do you work around it? How do you get yourself out of it?
I talk to people.
Mm,
I'm trying to before because I'm currently doing like it's it's not therapy, it's more of like a it's with a self-development person.
mhm,
Before I had her and before I had the mentorship group that I'm in, I would go straight to Jordan and I'd just tell him how I'm feeling. I would go onto socials, I'd go on my story and say, "I'm having a shit time, girls. This is your reminder that business isn't always great. It's fucking shit." Um, and I would just be honest of how I'm feeling. And I would just continue to show up. Even when I felt shit, just continue to show up. But now I obviously have the girl that I speak to and the mentorship group. I just simply talk to people. I tell people what's in my head because as soon as it is out of my head, I can then make it clear and make a plan from that. Because when you are sat in your head constantly, it's not clear, it's messy, it's too much. And it's literally as simple as saying it out loud helps. Even if you're unsure or maybe you feel like you don't have someone to talk to, because I have been there. There has been so many times where I've struggled and I've got family, I've got people to talk to, but sometimes you honestly feel that you just feel like you don't want to talk to someone. Even if you talk to your phone, record yourself and just say, like, this video is simply for me to look back on in 6 months' time. Right now, I am feeling like I'm messy, I'm this, I'm that, I don't feel clear about that. When you actually start word vomiting, you're then like, oh, okay. Well, I feel like that, so now I can do that. And sometimes it is just as simple as just getting it out. Or if you don't like talking, write it down.
Yeah, I'm so with you on that, and I'm very big on that as well. Sometimes, literally, all you have to do is say it to someone, and
Yeah.
then I've had it before where I've voice noted my coach so many times, and I'm like, "I'm feeling like shit, blah, 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 blah," and then I'm like, by the end of it, I'm like, "It's fine, I've sorted myself out now." Like, literally within a 5-minute voice note, just because I spoke about it, and it makes such a big difference, and I think that that's something that's not spoken about enough because it's always sort of, like, shown as, like, "Oh, in business, you have to, like, pretend everything's great and pretend that you're doing really well even if you're not, or like don't talk about it." But I actually think it's really good and I think people will trust you a hell of a lot more if you're honest about how shit it can be sometimes. Like it's the best thing ever, but it also comes with a lot of shit that you probably don't expect, especially when first starting up a business. You don't like obviously when I first started, I was like, "Oh my god, it looks amazing. It looks like it's gonna be the best thing of my life." And yes, it has been, but it's
Yeah.
also come with like I've had to adapt myself so much and like learn all of these new skills and become this like new person and go through all of the shit while still managing a business, that can be really hard that no one actually really speaks about that much. And I think it is becoming more normal now to speak about it. But like that's literally why like I've created this half of the podcast because I was like, we need to hear more stories. Like I've literally spoke to people from all over the world and some of the stories that I've heard, I'm like, wow, like you've actually managed like a really shit time in life, but still had that success in business because like you've just put those hats on and you've let yourself feel it and all of the things. And I think it's so important to actually speak about it, not to scare people away from starting a business, but to
Yeah.
show that they're not alone because it can feel really lonely when you're going through those shit times and you're like, well, I don't know what to fucking do.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are so many of them times of like, what the fuck do I do? What do
Yeah.
I do?
Exactly that. Let's talk about the wins. Let's talk about the highs. Let's go on to that. So obviously you've got the Her Founder Era event coming up. Talk to us about the first one. How did that go? Tell us.
Oh, do you know what? Every time I try and explain what it was like, I just have no words because and and I'm not just saying this because a lot of people who do things are like biased, aren't they? And they're like, "Oh, you would say that," but honestly, it was magical. I'm not even joking. Like I was floating the whole day and we had feedback after the event because feedback is so important to me. Like if I'm going to keep doing these events, I need you to be brutally honest with me. And I spoke to people that are very close to me. I spoke to people that weren't close to me, people that come and I didn't know. And I'm not joking, there was no bad feedback. Like, the only bit of negative feedback that isn't really negative was that it went too fast and they wanted more time and like they wanted more time to maybe network for longer. Like, that was literally it. The vibe for the day was everyone was just like the energy from everyone was just so high. And I just wanted women to arrive. Obviously, I wanted them to have a great time. Obviously, I wanted people to connect, but I wanted women to leave feeling like I'm so much like more capable than I think, and
Uh,
I can do anything because if someone else has done it, there's no reason why you can't do it. And I feel like I really did that because after the event finished, the amount of messages, I literally was so overwhelmed. I sat in bed, not to so we had the food that's there is fucking amazing, right? We were all eating like all day. I got back and I still had a Chinese, right? So I'm sat in bed, I'm eating this fat off Chinese and I'm just ping, ping, ping. Me and Jordan have got to put our phones on silent because it was just ping, ping, ping. The messages were so incredible. And I think because I was so overwhelmed, I was a bit numb. And I was
uh,
like, wow, today's been amazing. Wow, I just need to go to sleep. And then the next day, that was when I started to feel emotional because more messages were coming through, story posts, feed posts, tags, everything. And I was like, oh my God, it was incredible. We had obviously guest speakers, we had stalls, the food, we have gift bags. There was just so much going on. It was so special. And I knew that I had to do a second one. And I knew that I wanted it to be as good as the first one, but different in a sense of like, I wanted it to be transformational. So yeah, I want it to be inspiring and whatever, but I want you to listen to the guest speakers, but actually get involved. I want you to be challenged. I want you to write shit down. I want you to get involved because I want you to walk away knowing that you're capable of more, but okay, let's put the work in. Let's start implementing shit. Let's start the breakthroughs and let's start building our personal brand. Let's start getting these opportunities because events are amazing for connecting and networking. But I also wanted Her Founder Era to be something big where you do get to network, but you also are going to scale in ways of either business or your confidence or, yeah, your network. So this time's going to be slightly different. We're only having two speakers this time. Well, two workshop speakers, but then we've also got a live podcast. I think we've got a couple of other speakers, but they're just like little talks by a few people that I'm inspired by. And we've got gift bags. I have gone full out. I mean, I went full out last time, but I've gone full out with gift bags this time. My partner was like, "What the fuck have you done?" Um, we've got tiny tattoos. We've got iced matcha and iced coffee and Pepsi Max on arrival. We've got flower bouquet workshops, which I'm so excited for. Headshot sessions, jewelry, bags. There's going to be so much going on. I am so excited. I just think it's going to be incredible. And we've added an extra hour on because that's what they wanted. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, not long to go now. I'm buzzing.
Honestly, it's so exciting. But how did you sort of come around with this idea? Did it literally just like spark for you one day?
Funny story. When I was 17, I put on a festival.
Okay.
So it was called Family Sunfest.
Hmm.
And it was on a school field, a high school field. We had a massive lorry with the front all taken off, and I had singers from The Voice Kids, the winner and the finalists and semi-finalists all performed on this lorry. We
Mhm.
had ponies, bouncy castles, rides, food stalls, we had dancers, we had everything. And I did that at 17, and the same year, it was awful. Like, my uncle died, my dad had an affair, I dropped out of college, my life was a fucking mess. But I guess I'm just resilient, and I was like, "Fuck it, I wanna do it." And I had no team, I didn't have a business, I had no money. I just come up with this idea and did it. And then years later, obviously, when we started the business, I was always intrigued about networking events, even though I didn't go to them. Coming from a performing arts background, I was always at events, always at summer fates, always at like shows and stuff like that. And I would always walk away from events thinking, I wouldn't do it like that. Or maybe I would change this. But it was never oh, I could do a better job than this. It was just little details where I'd be like, I wonder why they've done that. Or, I would have done that slightly different. And then the venue that the event is held in is my favorite restaurant. I've been going since I was like 17. I have dinner there all the time. My family loves the restaurant. We love the owners. I used to sing at the restaurant every weekend back in the day when I used to gig. And me and my auntie sat there one day. God, it must have been like 2 years ago now. And I was like, wouldn't it be really nice to host an event in here? And then obviously nothing come of it. And then it come up again, and my auntie was like, God, if you ever do an event, you've got to do it here. And I think from that, it happened quick. Like, I was like, okay, fuck it, maybe I should put on an event. And then Jordan was like, we've got a lot going on, Abs. Like, we've got new clients on board in, we're doing this, we're doing that, you're doing like, you're speaking at event, we've got too much going on, let's do it in 2026, but no rush. And obviously this was October, November 2025. He went to the gym, come back, and I was like, I'm doing her founder era. I'm doing an event, and it's called her founder era. um, and I literally went to the venue in November, confirmed it. Then I sent personal invites out to every single person in my community and all my old clients on the 1st of December, and sold a few tickets within that week already. Didn't tell anyone about it actually, like, publicly, didn't put it online. Um, and then, yeah, so we launched in the December, January, February, so I had 2 months. We did it quite early because I just had no idea. And yeah, we had 70 odd people in the room, and it was fucking crazy. And I think this time I don't care about selling out. Like, I'm doing a little series at the moment of like day 22 of trying to sell out my event, but I just think I don't care if I sell out. I just want the right people in the room.
Yeah, 100%. And I actually hear that a lot. Like when you do events, like a lot of people will actually say, it's too much, like it's not going to sell out that quickly and all of these things. But my coach as well, who I work really closely with, she does an event every single January. The first year she was doing it, her coach was like, nope, don't do it, like it's too soon, like you're not going to get people there, all of this. And she was like, fuck this, I'm doing it. And literally, like, she sold it out. And like she was like, but so many people I think like stop events for that reason, because it's like it's a lot to manage, it's a lot to do. But I
As
think
long as
that's
you're
when you
Yeah, as long as you're careful with your money, like, as long as you're pricing tickets right and you're careful with your money, it doesn't matter if you don't sell out, because you just need to be careful. Like, my outgoings for the event are fucking crazy, and the venue that I have to pay is crazy. So it is a huge, huge risk. But I don't need to sell out to be able to cover that. So I'm like, let's not stress about money. Let's just hope that the right women come in, and I like give them a day for them to just have the best day ever and have the transformations they need. I don't want to think about the outgoings. I don't want to think about any of that. I just want to know that I'm doing this because I'm passionate about it. And I genuinely want the right women to be in the room because they know they're meant for more, and it will work out.
Yeah, and I think because you've got that passion behind it and because you know exactly what you want from it and you're like, whether one person comes or 100 people come, like,
Mm.
it's meant to be. I think that
Yeah,
is what makes the difference, and that's what actually gets people, like, coming in because, like, you actually have such a passion and purpose behind it, and people can see that, like and like you're saying, you don't need to be completely sold out, like, as long as the right people are there, that's all that matters, and I think having that mindset going into anything in business or life is what will get you from feeling like shit all the time and being worried that it's not gonna work out to actually being like, "Do you know what? If it doesn't, it doesn't.
yeah,
It's a learning opportunity at the end of the day anyway."
exactly.
Um, yeah, so I think, like, that's really good, and it's really exciting that that's coming up. It's gonna be so, so amazing. I can tell already, like, from everything that you're posting about online, like, it's just so exciting, and I'm like, "Ooh," I love it. I'm gonna try my hardest to come as well. Um yeah, I would really love to be there. So obviously you do personal branding, and a big thing for you is talking about how personal branding doesn't mean you have to become an influencer. Talk to
Yeah,
us about that. I think a lot of people automatically think personal brand influencer, like sharing everything in my life.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's where the misconception is, because people are showing up and they are getting opportunities for being themselves, that naturally people are like, well, do I have to show up every single day? Do I have to tell you the ins and outs of my life? Like, naturally, some people who, it's always the people that aren't that educated in it, which is fine. Like, we're not educated in every single topic, and you do have assumptions. Um, and I think that because over the years, in everyone knows what an influencer is now. Like, Instagram blew up. Influencers were working with brands. I know that people like to call them like content creators now. Um, and naturally, when personal branding started to blow up, because I've been doing personal branding for years, but it started blowing up around last year and now has just been huge. And there's a lot of people just creating noise online. So I get the misconception, because people that kind of want to know about it are getting fed all this information by people that don't actually know what it is. So it's like, well, what is it then? Obviously, it's not being an influencer. So, an influencer is when you work with brands, they give you a product and you post about their product or service. So, you're posting to your community about this brand. I did influencing back in the day when I was like 18. My Instagram blew up. I've done both sides of it now, and I know that they are two complete different things. But with your personal brand, it's you and your brand. You're building you, and it doesn't just mean Instagram. It's who you are offline. It's
Yeah.
like it's your why, your story. Like, why are you here? The opportunities that I get when I speak at events and when I teach and stuff, like, I've got those opportunities because I'm so clear on my brand, who I help, what I do, and why I do what I do. Don't get me wrong, I still have a few brand partnerships where I get sent things, but that's that is like what an influencer would do. And I think with influencing as well, like, you have that community, and people do buy from you as an influencer, but it's like recommendations and it's outfits and it's homeware and it's all of this stuff. But with a personal brand, they're buying into who you are as a person and your story. Um, and it's just two complete different things.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you feel like when people come to you and they're like, how the fuck do I even do personal branding? How do I show myself without sharing absolutely everything? What would be the one thing that you say to them?
Well, I always say it's always your choice.
Mm,
Like, for one, you don't like, if you don't want to build a personal brand, you don't want to build one, like, it's fine. Don't do it. But obviously, if you do want to build a personal brand, everything is down to you. You decide what you post. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. Just because someone you look up to has a personal brand and they're showing their kids. I don't have kids, but just an example, like, if they're showing their kids on days out and stuff, but you don't want to do that, you don't need to do that.
yeah.
When I explain to people with personal branding as well, it's kind of like when you create a content strategy. Like, when you build a content strategy, you have content pillars where they're just themes or topics that you talk about in your content. It is the same for personal branding. You have your pillars in personal brand. So with my personal brand, and I think of my topics or my themes that I talk about, I always talk about the highs and lows of business. Always. I Mine's a little bit of a mix, but with my gym or like my outfits and stuff, like I do talk about them, and that's kind of just like a buffer, like an extra thing that I just add in. And then obviously I talk about my mentorship, my personal brand course, like I talk about my services, but everyone is so different. Like you don't need to talk about the gym, you don't need to talk about your outfits, you don't need to talk about the highs and lows of business if that's not you. I do that because it's me and it's all I've ever done. I'm very, very honest on myself online. And I think as well, like when you build a personal brand, there's so many aspects to it. Why do you want to build a personal brand in the first place? Like you always need that why. Like if you want to build a personal brand so you get more opportunities, like speaking on podcast or speaking at events and stuff, you need to show people why they need to pick you for these events. Why? What value are you bringing? Because when you think of personal, again, bringing up personal brand and influencer, your personal brand, you've got to give value. Like you've got to give authority and you've got to give value. But influencer is like they just like your life and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like it is just so, so different. No one's gonna pick me to speak at an event if I'm just showing my outfits every single day and posting products and services from brands. Because that doesn't give value to whoever's going to an event or who like the podcast audience, you know?
Yeah, I'm really with you on that. And I think that's such a key difference, actually. And that's something that I find a lot as well is that when you're building that personal brand, you're making those connections and you're actually speaking to people and you're meeting new people and you're actually building real life online, essentially. Whereas I think the more influencer side of it is just that thing of like people will then watch you because they like you rather than actually building that
Yeah.
connection with you. And I think
And
that's different.
I feel like with an influencer, you're building an army of people that look up to you,
Yeah.
but can't really relate to you.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
then if you're building a personal brand, I feel like, well, if you're doing it for the right reasons, you're building a community that you are involved with. Like, I think of like when I did influencing, I had such a great community of women, but like I had no reason to meet them. I had no reason to actually like see them. But then with my personal brand, all I want to do is meet people that I talk to online. I want to give back to women. I want to help women thrive. Like I want that so badly so I can start doing these events and doing all these things because I have value to give.
Mm. Yeah, I love that so much, and I think that's such a big part of it is that you're not doing the journey or, like, you're not showing them the journey, like, you're doing it with them, and, like, you're going through that with them, and I always say, like, you don't have to be out of the other side to help other people through something, like, all you have to be is, like, 2 steps ahead, and that's actually
Yeah.
all you need, and, like,
Yeah.
people can still look up to you, work with you, talk to you, communicate with you at the same time, and I think people will feel more invested in you when
Yeah.
they know that you're not just, like, someone on the complete other side that has, like, just not had that life or whatever, and I think that's a big thing that people try and showcase is that, like, "Look, my life is great, so work with me," but actually, I personally would rather work with someone where I know your life isn't that great because it makes me
Yeah.
feel normal.
Yeah, that's so true. I was actually talking to my mentor about this the other day about like it's great to show the wins and it's great to show your life if you've got more time freedom, if you're going out and you can do all
Mm.
these things. Like that's great, but you don't then want your clients to feel like, well, do you actually have time for me?
Yeah,
Like,
or
are
can
you
she
out
relate to me?
living your best life? Yeah. And not gonna get back to my Slack messages or whatever. Like, do you actually like your business or do you just like going out all the time? And I think I've had to find this balance because I have gone from not being able to go out for lunches, not being able to afford a matcha or a drink or whatever, to now like I do have more freedom and I do spend a lot of time with my family. But at the same time, I'm constantly with my clients. I'm constantly in the office. Like I'm voice noting my clients all the time. Like I'm you have to show the balance, because if I went out for a matcha every single day and didn't talk about business, I might as well be an influencer.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people actually get into business with the mindset of, well, I can just work 2 hours in the week and earn loads of money. But actually, for me, that's not even what I want because, like, I feel so passionate about what I do and I love what I do so much that I would happily spend hours and hours and hours working on my business, working with clients. And then you
Yeah.
can still fit that freedom in at other points in your day or like, and I think the
Yeah.
freedom comes from being able to choose. I think that is the biggest thing for freedom, especially
Yeah. Having the option. Yeah.
exactly that. Exactly. I know on the form you spoke a little bit about leading differently, and for you that means that the Abbie running the company is the same Abbie as like with her friends and family. Do
Yeah.
you feel like it's always been that way for you, or do you feel like you've had to like sort of like for me, especially when I first started business, I felt like I was showing up in a way that everyone taught me to show up like, and you sort of like get lost in that crowd a little bit. And now I'm out of the other end of that, and I'm like, no, I just show up as me. Whoever I am online is who I am in person. Has it always been like that for you, or have you had to make that shift as well?
But I had to make that shift because when you first start a business, you generally do think you have to be like this corporate person. And it took me, I hate to say it, but it took me a long time, to be fair. Like, I'm not like that now. People come to me because I am myself. People have traveled like 4 hours to come to the office for a headshot session and have literally sat there, got their makeup done, and said, I came because of your energy and your vibe. Like, you are just so normal. And I'm like, I know. Like, and that's all I want from people. My worst nightmare is someone coming to meet me and then them being like, "Oh, you're so different offline." Like,
Mm,
no. What you see is what you get with me, and I think it did take me a long time, and I still have, not recently, but even over the last couple of years, there has been times where I've been offended maybe by, like, comments from mostly men who, like, maybe don't take me seriously, or like there was a time where someone that we knew, someone that they knew, they run a company, it was a man, and he was asking about management, and I gave them my price, which wasn't even a fucking expensive price either. And he was like, can we just start at a lower price and then just see how things go? And I thought, how fucking dare you
mm,
say to me, a woman, like, can we just lower the price and then see how things go? No, that's my price and that's my service. You want it or you don't want it. If I was a man, you wouldn't have said that. And it really got my back up. And I thought, how dare you think that I'm not serious about this, you know? And like that used to really get to me. But now I'm so like, I don't care. I'm going to put on social media even more how much of a diva I am and how I call everyone queen. And I'm like, I'm just a girl. Like, I'm going to be so on that, because you don't have to be a corporate person or act like a man in business to be successful. And I'm so passionate about that. So passionate about being yourself. Like, I literally remember I put on TikTok a couple of months ago. It was just after the first event, I think, where I was like, like, do not listen to anyone that tells you you have to be professional in business, because I literally talk about my IBS and shitting myself on my stories, and we landed an 8K project.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me that I need to be professional, because we've done that, and by being myself. Like, I'm just so, yeah, I'm so passionate about that.
Yeah, I
It
think that's
it's
really important.
taken that to get there, so
Yeah, and I think sometimes you have to go through those lessons of showing up as the person that you don't want
yeah,
to learn how, like, it's actually okay to be yourself and people will actually relate to you so much more. Like, I've had
mm,
people, like, since I've left the relationship that I was in, literally say to me, like, I can actually see your personality now. Like, I can see that. And I think that was because where I lost myself so much in that relationship, I was like, I don't even know who I am to show up as who I am. So, like, I was just sort of copying everyone else. And since leaving, I was like, oh, I found myself. Like, I can actually be myself now. And it does make such a difference, like, the connections that I've built, like,
Yeah.
inquiries that I've had, like, all of those things have been so different and they feel so amazing now compared to before. Because before, you kinda like when you're showing up as someone that you're not, like, you do feel like a fraud. Whereas when
Yeah.
you're showing up as yourself, just talking about your everyday life as you would with your mates, it actually just feels normal and
And
the
it's not
success is so much
sustainable.
better. Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, it's not sustainable showing up as someone else. Like, in business, it is so hard that
Mm,
you have to keep this energy up, and we're human at the end of the day. Yesterday, I had a low energy day. I felt like shit. I didn't really wanna show up. I did a little bit, but I also took that time to be like, "Look, let's just have a pause." And now I feel great. Today, I'm having a good high energy day. But if you're constantly faking this persona, this that energy will run out and you will be burnt out and you won't be able to move forward.
yeah, exactly. It's so draining, isn't it, when you're just constantly showing up as someone that you're not, and then you sort of just get in that rut and you're like, "What am I actually doing?"
Yeah.
Um, but also in human design, as you're a projector, so that means that your feeling of being in alignment is feeling successful. What do you feel like? How does that show up for you in your body, in your mind? What does success actually mean to you?
Um,
Love that.
I've learnt this. We literally had the conversation with in a mentorship group last night. They were like, how do you want to feel in business? And I was like, excited. That's all I ever want to feel because when I feel excited, that is what brings out my true self and my fuck yeah energy. Like all I want is to feel excited because with the event that has brought sorry, I'm just putting my blanket on me, getting
It's
comfy.
okay.
Like with the event, it gets me excited and people literally they thrive on that energy. Like I have got a lot of people that have viewed my content at the moment because it's pure like her founder era, like constantly. And everyone I meet in person, they're like, your energy. And I'm like, it's because I'm excited.
Yeah.
And with like my mentorship, I'm excited for my clients. When someone wants to build their personal brand, I'm excited. Not for me, but I'm excited for you. Like what can come for you? That fucking lights me up. Being excited is just like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, I love that so much. The success comes from feeling excited. That's how you know you're being successful and doing what you
Yeah.
want to be doing. And I can really relate to that as well in terms of the excitement. I'm like, at the moment, I've sort of like stripped back all of my offers and I'm focusing on building out my free community because that's the thing that's exciting me and because that's what I needed back then. And I'm like, this is what I actually feel lit up to do. And I think that's such a big part of business is not doing things because you feel like you have to and you feel like you should do and you should
Yeah.
follow the same structure as everyone else but doing
Yeah.
it because it's exciting. That's literally the whole reason why I went into the theme park because I was like, it's exciting, it's different, like no one's done this before and it's fun. I mean, when you have fun in your business, it makes the biggest difference.
100%.
Such a big difference, doesn't it? So one question before we like come off of here, I just want to ask to anyone that's sort of like feeling like they're in the lows right now in business, they're feeling a bit shitty, they don't really know what to do, whether that's in business or life, what's one piece of advice that you would give to them right now?
If you know you're meant for more and you are genuinely passionate about what you're doing, I know this is so simple, but you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Like one thing I've learned in business and life is the compound effect. I talk about this all the time. But you can be doing something, small steps for months and months and months, and you might be like, "What the fuck am I doing?" But it just takes for it to fall off the ledge or whatever. All these things that are compounding, it takes for one thing, and it just all fucking explodes. Like I always talk about this on my podcast with my guests, like because they come out with things and I'm like, it's compounding. It's the ripple effect. Like it is so, so hard when you are consistent and you're going and going and going and going and you don't see much of a return. It is painful and it is hard and it really messes with your mind. And you're like, is this even working? But you're not going to know if it's going to work if you stop. And
Mhm.
I think if I'd have stopped when I was at my lowest point and I was like, what are we doing this for? I'd have never got my office. I'd have never been able to scale my business. I'd never be able to, like, I was flown to Spain for one of my clients. I'd never be invited to Marrakesh to go to group coach women. Like, I'd have never got any of this if I'd have allowed myself to give up in my lowest times. So honestly, like, you just have to keep going.
Yeah, I love that answer so much. And I think that's going to actually, sometimes I think the more simple answers actually hit so much better for
Yeah.
people. Because, like, if I was going through those really like shit times, that would be exactly what I need to hear. Like, just keep going, you've got this. Like, and it's as simple as that. And like, that's what I had to remind myself. Like, when I was going through those shit times, it's like, you can do it. Just keep going. It's all going to work out. That's literally all you need to hear sometimes. I remember it was about summer last year, and me and my ex were, like, going through, like, we was like, "Are we breaking up? Are we not?" Like, we was just constantly arguing. That's sort of, like, when everything started, and I started to pour back into myself, and I was helping a client of mine manage an event. She'd done, like, a little painting session, and literally that same morning, I had a massive argument with my ex over the phone, like, and I saw my friend, and I was, like, I burst into tears, and I was like, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, like, I feel so lost right now, everything feels shit." And the painting that I'd done, I was literally like, "Everything happens exactly as it should." And that's something that I've always stuck by, and I was like, and I needed to hear that in the moment, but, like, sometimes you just even have to listen to yourself with those little, like, moments and comments, like, because you've got it within you, and it's just reminding yourself, like, "Just keep going, you fucking got this." Like, there is no point giving up, because if you give up, you could lose out on the life that you actually want to have, and I think that that is so much more, like, bigger than settling for a life that you don't want.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, like, I really do agree, like, I what I was just saying about consistency and, like, keeping going, and that is one thing that keeps me going now, is the compound effect. Like, if I'm having a low day, I do listen to my body and I do take a bit of a break, but I don't stop
Yeah, it's finding that
because,
balance.
th like, my pebbles that are compounding, they might tipple tomorrow. They
Yeah.
might fall tomorrow, so that keeps me going, but I also believe in, you have to really listen to your body and learn. It's been hard for me, but learn when it's time to pivot,
Yeah.
because I did the management side of business, social media management. I did that for such a long time. I was burnt out. I was depressed. I hated my life. Like, it, I was really depressed. And I kept going, I kept going, I kept going, kept onboarding new clients, kept doing it, kept doing it. And every 6 months or every whatever, we'd come back to the same problem time and time again. I'd have a meltdown. We'd lose clients. We'd keep going in this vicious circle. And until me and Jordan had this serious conversation about stopping the management and transitioning, it was a hard conversation. There was tears. It was very hard. But since I did that, it's changed my life. Like, I'm more aligned. And we've had many difficult conversations. And there's been so many times where Jordan's like, Abby, I think you just really need to think about what you actually want to do. Like, we've learnt to pivot. Because if you're like, I do believe in the compound effect, but it has to be right. Like, don't keep going if it is literally killing you and destroying your soul. Don't keep going because you think, "Well, I have to do it because it's business." No, you've created this business. You need to be doing what like, you need to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be happy in what you're doing. You've got to be passionate about it. So if you're going and going and going, nothing's changing, and you are getting more unhappy and you are literally depressed, and you're like, "I hate this, what I'm doing," it's time to pivot.
Yeah,
It's
I
okay to pivot. We change. We evolve.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like keeping the fun in your business, like, keeping
Yes.
it enjoyment. If you're just doing business and, like, you're pushing and pushing, but you're not enjoying it, there is no point, but, like, so just switch it up. Get that fun back again, and then everything like, then you have that reason to keep going and to have that
Yeah.
compound effect because you're actually enjoying what you do. There is no point doing something that you don't enjoy and that you don't wanna do for the rest of your life. Like, I always say I can see myself at 90 years old literally like on my deathbed being like doing this business still and helping people the way I do, giving the advice that I give because I
Yeah.
love it so much. And I think that's what makes it so different is like some people do go into business and work and stuff like that just because that's what they've been told to do. And
Yeah.
actually, like, stop following what everyone else tells you to do and just, like, come back home to yourself. Do whatever the fuck you wanna do. It doesn't have to be the same as everyone else, and that's so big in business. Like, when you do things differently, however that looks for you, that's when you're gonna see the success that you wanna see because it's connected to you. So tell us, how can people come and find you after this episode, and how can they come to the Her Founder Era 2.0 on the 12th of July?
So you can find me on Instagram at Abbie Hartley ____. I know, dramatic. Um, and my business page is JA Social Suite. But if you find me on my personal page, you will find everything. Like, you'll find my business page, my podcast page, but Her Founder Era, the link is in my bio on my page. So if you do want to come, I mean, you know you want to come. You can use code BESTIE if you want to come with someone, or if you're coming on your own, then use VIP. It's my secret discount.
Okay, amazing. I'll
I'd
also
love
put that
to.
in the description as well so they can go straight to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been so amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and
Thanks
sharing
for
your
having
story.
me.
You're so welcome. Honestly, it's been so, so good. I know everyone's going to love this episode. I cannot wait for it to go out.
I've loved
But yeah,
this.
it's been amazing, hasn't it? Thank you so much.
Thank you.